Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm going to be trying today's Times Cryptic crossword for you. Apologies if the microphone quality is slightly lower than usual. I am on my laptop today. I've been travelling again. I have more travel woe stories to share with you. It's not American Airlines this time. Car rental companies via EasyJet. Surprise. Never use them. So terrible. I cannot impress upon that you. I cannot impress that upon you enough. Anyway, I'm going to put that out of my mind. I'm going to attempt to solve this puzzle. I'm guessing. I haven't actually checked. There's my dictionary there, so that's good. I'm guessing it's harder than usual because it's a Friday. Let's have a quick look at the. Yeah, you can see the typists there. The first four are definitely typists. The fifth is real. Mystic Gris is real. So 6 minutes is obviously going to be a quick time. I'm not seeing any of the usual suspects. Matthew Marcus, Andy Fisher's very quick, but Matthew Marcus is always a good bellwether. Current Times crossword champion. 8 minutes. So clearly a very tough puzzle. Perhaps unsurprisingly. Anyway, with that said and done, do I have anything else to tell you? Over on Patreon, we have this puzzle club. It is worth checking out. There's always extra crossword content there, including Mark's Solve of the Times Club monthly special, so I should mention that. Anyway, with that said and done, let's get cracking. Let's have a look at this. The Times Crossword Championship 2024 will be held on Saturday, October the 19th. Okay, well that's exciting. That is exciting. Anyway, it has nothing to do with this puzzle. One across. Range of mushrooms. About right to fill belly. Okay, I haven't got this yet. But if you're new to cryptic crosswords, you may not know that in every cryptic crossword clue, there is a definition, a straightforward definition, which means that if you get very proficient at reading cryptic crossword clues, you could effectively turn the puzzle into a quick crossword or an American-style crossword. Now, the way to detect where the definition lives in the clue is almost always at the start or the end. It doesn't have to be one word. Could be so the clue here could be range of mushrooms, although I don't know any words for range of mushrooms, so I don't think it's going to be that. But one way to detect which side of the clue is the definition is to try and work out which bits of the clue are wordplay, because there will be a definition in a clue and there will be wordplay in a clue. And wordplay typically involves moving things around or putting one word inside another or anagramming a word. So when we read this clue, range of mushrooms about, well, the word about right makes me think I've got to put something about an abbreviation for right, which can be R, as in R and L, left, well, right and left in that instance. To fill belly, and again, if one word fills another, it's inside it. So I'm thinking short synonym for belly might be tum, T-U-M. So can I think this might be a range, like a mountain range possibly, but I'm not actually thinking of the right answer. So anyway, that's just how I thought about that, and all those thoughts have been proved useless. Let's try 6 across. Warehouse party held by university members. Okay, I haven't got that one either. Oh, have I? No. My thoughts there are this is probably a 6-letter word meaning warehouse. Can I think of any short synonyms for party? Well, there are 2 that come up occasionally. The most common one is a do. If you have a do, you have a party. So DO is a good one. DUP is a party we sometimes see, the political party from Northern Ireland. Held by university members. Well, university is very often just U or uni even. And members is an interesting word in a cryptic crossword. Don't laugh at me. Because members can be members of parliament, and they would be MPs. But it can also be your members can be your arms and your legs. So it could be arms, it could be legs. So I don't know. University members. I haven't got that. That's not good. Okay, should we try the long one? I'm going to try 2 down first, I think. Architectural feature. That's a terrifying first 2 words because, I mean, who considers themselves to be an expert on architectural features? Probably not many of us. One associated with clubs in city. Okay, well, one can be the letter I. And that's for a variety of reasons, but a very clear reason is that 1 has the Roman numeral for, well, I is the Roman numeral for the number 1. Associated with clubs, well, in clubs is a suit in bridge, and indeed in cards generally. And if you've ever looked at bridge bidding, 1C would be 1 clubs, or 1 club, 2 clubs, 3 clubs, etc. So clubs could be just C. So maybe this has got IC in the middle of it. So 1 associated with clubs, you put the I with the C, and you put that in a 5-letter city to give an architectural feature. The problem is, architecture, I'm thinking spire and things like that. But I think there are quite a lot, like architrave, and there's quite a lot of sort of technical terms. This isn't going well, is it? Should we go? Where could we get to? That 16 across would give us a starting letter, and possibly a way into the southwest. So meat cut seen around King's Lynn, for example. I'm wondering if this is Vera, as in Vera Lynn, and this is a classic technique. It is Vera Lynn, or is Vera. Classic technique of cryptic crossword setters. They absolutely love making your brain read a phrase that we've seen before. Like King's Lynn is a place. Probably 99% of people, especially if you're English, have heard of King's Lynn. Therefore, in your brain, it's quite hard to split that phrase up. But that is what we need to do. And once we've done that, the clue becomes easy. Because meat cut, well, that's saying cut a word for meat, which in this case is veal cut. So we just get VEA. That's seen around R, which is an abbreviation for king. I know this is ludicrous. If you've never seen these puzzles before, you'll be saying, why? Why is R an abbreviation for king? Well, it's from Latin, believe it or not. And you have to start to get familiar with these abbreviations. It's not possible to abbreviate any word in a clue to its initial or its Latin equivalent. It has to be supported by Chambers Dictionary. Chambers Dictionary is, I think, considered the authority when it comes to English language cryptic crosswords. So when we type in R, we can go down and hopefully, there we go, Rex, Latin, that's what the brackets L thing means, king. So that is why king in this clue can be R, and that's obviously giving us Vera, as in Dame Vera Lynn. We'll meet again, and that's how the clue works. But just to throw another spanner into this cryptic ointment, king can be K as well, and that's from chess scoring. So anyway, that's by the by. Let's have a look at 17 down. King actually at the moment can also be our current king. The only living person I want to say that can be mentioned in a Times crossword clue is the reigning monarch. I think there might be another exception to that rule, but I think I'm right. I think that is something you can take on trust. 17 down anyway. I'm getting distracted again. Bean and cheese served with meat, good to go. What? Okay, well, I don't know what this is. I think this is going to be a 7-letter bean. Bean is an awkward word, though, because bean obviously makes me think of the vegetable, the bean. It might make you think of Mr. Bean, but that's not going to be what's being referred to here. But it could also be, I think bean is a sort of slang term for your head. So could this be a 7-letter word for your head? And how do I read the wordplay? Cheese served with meat, good to go. Well, I think we need a word for a cheese. There are lots of short synonyms for cheese. I mean, a good one is brie often. And we're going to put that with a word for meat, which I quite like ham there. And then good to go, I think that means take a G out, because G can be an abbreviation for good. As in, you might have seen the abbreviation VG, meaning very good. But that would imply maybe the cheese has a G in it. Gouda? No, I don't know. I really don't like that E at the start of that clue. Ooh, should we try 3 down? I mean, look at it. I mean, the first 2 words, they're so horrible. Church holding. Church holding, ancient stone, gold and silver, in suspended state. Wow. Something. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Holding ancient stone. So church, very often, 2 things you need to know about church. It's either going to be CH very often, or it's going to be CE, Church of England. So one of those, CH or CE, holds a word for an ancient stone. I have no idea what that means. Unless it's, coal. It could be ancient, could be old. Cold storage, I've got it. Okay. Alright, so I've lucked into that by thinking I didn't know a word for an ancient stone. So again, the constructor's got me. It's quite hard to look at ancient stone and go, okay, I need a word for ancient, and then an abbreviation, it turns out, for stone. But that is what we need to do. But once we do that, we're on the right lines, because we can put our CE in this case around old for ancient, ST, which is an abbreviation for stone. Now, gold, we have to talk about this. It's very important to know this. When you see a chemical element in a cryptic crossword, you're not going to see anything too weird. Like, you're not going to see Einsteinium and have to know the chemical abbreviation for that. But for most of the common ones, you will need to know them. And gold is a common one. And gold's abbreviation is AU. So this gold could have been AU. The only other thing you'll see gold being is OR. And that is from the heraldic tincture. I think OR is a heraldic golden tincture. Let's have a look. Here we go. The tincture gold, indicated in engraving and chiselling by dots, and it's from heraldry. I know it's absolutely mad, but that is something, it comes up so often. So we've got OR there. Now silver, the chemical element silver is AG. And we put the C of E around the outside, we get cold storage, which is a suspended state. So we've lucked into that one. We've got a C and 1 across. What was that? Oh, that was the mushrooms. Seps, CPS, they're sort of fungus, aren't they? Range. Oh, spectrum. Oh. That's right. Spectrum is right. So I've got that. So, right, let's talk about this one. So I have only got this one because my brain thought of seps, and somehow it then reversed it. But range is a spectrum, is a range. Mushrooms about, that's saying turn about, a word for mushrooms. So we reverse our seps to get spec. And then R fills tum, for the trum at the end. Now we've got spectrum. And now, can we revisit some of these earlier clues with more dignity in how we solve it? So architectural feature beginning with P. Plinth, no. Wrong number of letters. Maybe with IC in the middle of it. Or what's this city then? 5 letters city beginning with Perth. Is it Perth? I'm trying to... Portico. Porto. Ah! Well, I'm in Portugal at the moment, so it's Porto. I'm not in Porto, but I'm in Portugal. So, what's going on? It is Porto, the city, around IC. So we were on the right lines. We just didn't think of the right city. And then I couldn't think of the architectural feature without the P at the start. But Portico is right. Now, let's have a look. Heavy sea wave, roller, meeting vessel, exciting ride. Well, a vessel is a coaster, isn't it? So an exciting ride is a roller coaster. So maybe I should have started there. That was a much easier clue. Now, what's this going to be? Room, I'm guessing, R-H-E-U-M. Let's have a look. No, it's not. Sometime Kent. Oh, wow. I love that. Sometime Kent player is trying to make you think of a cricketer who plays for Kent. Yeah, I wonder actually whether this clue will be easier if you're American and perhaps you aren't familiar with English counties or the game of cricket, which makes an appearance in so many cryptic crosswords. It might be easier to read this clue if you're unfamiliar with that, because sometimes the other Kent that we could think about is Clark Kent. And who played Clark Kent in the Superman movies? Christopher Reeve. So I think this is Reeve. Dealing with, if you're dealing with something, it's it's on the subject of, R-E. And the woman tempted in the Bible was Eve, as in Adam and Eve, and the Garden of Eden and the apple. So Reeve is the answer there. And yeah, I think the reference to Reeve is obviously a very sad one of the most healthy people you could possibly imagine, taken too soon. 5 down. Locus for enthusiasts, regularly using revolutionary toy. Locus, sort of the position of something. For enthusiasts regularly. Well, the word regularly is awkward in cryptic crosswords because it typically means extract the regularly occurring letters from a word. So that might be the odd numbered letters of a word or the even numbered letters. So if we look at enthusiasts and we were to take out, well, I don't really like it with the M and the C. What was going on? Locus for enthusiasts. It's just too many letters, isn't it? E-T-U-I-S-S or something. I'm not reading this one correctly. And a revolutionary toy. So we need to think of a short word for toy and probably reverse it. No. Locus. Come on, Simon. What is this? I don't know. Brain's not working. Let's try this one. Oh, well, this is easier. I've only read the first three words of the clue, but I know the answer. Time to publish. A complex accumulation of lies. Well, if you are familiar with Newton's laws of motion, you will be familiar with the fact that time in those laws is abbreviated to t, like v equals u plus at, s equals ut plus a half at squared. I don't know. These are things I haven't used for a long time, but they sort of have been burned into my memory. So I think this might begin with t. If you publish something, you issue it, and that creates the word tissue. And a complex accumulation of lies is a tissue, a thin tissue of lies. You might have heard the phrase. Let's try 13 across. Horologer. Well, okay, horologer struggling. Horologer is such a weird collection of letters. I don't know, I look at it and think, that's a weird collection of letters. And then my brain is programmed now to think about anagrams. Now, horologer is only 9 letters. But if that is anagrammed, if it struggles, if those letters struggle, so struggle is what's telling us to anagram horologer, with the letter A, so horologer and A, we put those together. Can we create a rabbit problem? Now, what does that mean? That makes me think of myxomatosis. But it could mean if you rabbit a lot, you talk a lot. So what's that then? And is the A going to come at the end? It doesn't have to. I mean, the sort of grammar of the clue suggests it could be an anagram of horologer and A. It's not like we have to anagram horologer and then have the A at the end, although it could mean that. So it could end in graph, couldn't it? G-R... Oh, no, it can't. It hasn't got a P in it. No, ignore that. It definitely doesn't end in graph. What is it then? Oh, logoria or something. There is some... If you're... Yeah, there's some weird word from Latin that says... If you just have verbal diarrhea, it's something like logoria. I never did Latin at school. It's one of the great regrets of my life. But it's something like... It begins like that, and then it's got a weird collection of vowels in it. I think. Now, okay, this is going to be awful though, isn't it? So, RH, so logo, RH, we get O. Is it a diphthong? Is it something like that? Not sure, and I'm not going to use the dictionary to look up spellings I don't know, because I don't think that's fair. So I'm going to have to get this from the crossing entries. That would be my best guess of the spelling. I mean, the diphthong could come out logoria. Not sure. Can we justify the H? That would be good, wouldn't it? Depraved, sought, soldiers will copy. I don't know, my brain went to hidebound there as a word. I don't know why it did that. But sometimes it's worth listening to your subconscious. Depraved sort. Soldiers will copy. Soldiers, that could be men, army, will copy. Maybe the H is wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Doesn't look like we're going to get much joy from this one, does it? So, do we have to... Maybe we have to look at 6 down. Fair to admit university mate manufactured overseas place. I mean, could there be a more terrifying definition than overseas place? Which I think is the definition here, because the way I read the clue, can I think of a short synonym for fair? Well, I don't know yet, but okay, actually, it's not going to be Oakla, no. To admit university, well, that could be our U again. We saw that in an earlier clue. Mate manufactured. I wonder if it's an anagram of mate. And then the whole thing, I think, means an overseas place. Whew. Guatemala. That has got the rights. The way I've got that is thinking about U and MATE in the middle of something. Gala. A gala is a fair, isn't it? That's right then. Guatemala. Good. And that, well, doesn't really help me with the spelling of logoria, because I was pretty sure it ended in A anyway. Okay, let's try 6 across. Oh, sorry, just to explain this, how does it work? Well, it's gala for a fair, admitting this U for university, and then the anagram of mate afterwards. Oh, warehouse party. We thought party might be do, didn't we? Party held by university members. Warehouse party. A warehouse is a beginning with G. Dear, why can't I get that? I don't know why. Let's try 7 down. Act last from art pepper. The last from art is screaming the last letter of the word art, which would be T, and that would be that T, wouldn't it? So a 2-letter word for an act. If you act, you do, don't you? So could it be dot? Dot pepper. Is dot as in Dorothy? This is ringing a weird bell with me, but I'm not sure I'm right about it. Is Pepper like a nickname for... Dotty Pepper. Dotty Pepper's a golfer. Well, I'm going mad now. I've got. I think I'm thinking of Dotty Pepper. I don't know. Dotty Pepper was is an incredibly good golfer whose career now, I think she's a commentator, but was, I want to say, a many-time major winner. Dotty, am I going mad? I think I'm going mad. But Dot and Pepper, I feel, are synonymous for some reason. I'm going to put that in. It might be that Dorothy and Pepper, somebody called Dorothy might be nicknamed Pepper, like Richard might be Dick. It's one of those weird things. But if this D is right, then that does look like do in the middle, doesn't it? What is going on? University members are going to have to be beginning with G, which is not what I was expecting. I don't like it. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at 8 down. Closely woven material. We've had the whole gamut so far of terrifying definitions. If it is closely woven material, that is terrifying because there are all sorts of weird things. Taken to the cleaners. Worsted is the answer. Worsted. That is one of these weird words that for a material. And also, if you take someone to the cleaners, you beat them. They have been worsted. So let's have a look. I'm not changing the answer. I'm sure it's right. There we go. A fine wool fabric. Yeah, you only learn that from crosswords, in my opinion. And then the second meaning is the one we... So what's this? Go down? Warehouse. What? Gown. Oh yeah, okay. University members, town and gown. That's outrageous. So a warehouse must be a go down. That's a weird word. So do for party. I mean, it can't be anything else. And then town and gown. You might have heard the conflict between town and gown, meaning those people in a town, like if you go to Cambridge at the university, but you were to contrast that with somebody who worked in Cambridge, not at the university, they would be of the town, whereas the gown are the people connected with the university. So a go down, I think, is going to be the answer. Now we've got to look this up, haven't we? A go down, there we go. Oh, so it's not even it doesn't have an English etymology, even though it looks like it should. In Eastern countries, a warehouse or a storeroom from the Malay, gudang. Yup, I didn't know that. That's great. Okay, so now, let's try 15 across. Cover over bathing beach. Lido. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? A cover is a lid. And over is O. You might say, why is O over? Especially if you're not familiar with cricket. But if you are familiar with cricket scoreboards, you will know that O is an abbreviation for over. In cricket scoring, if somebody bowls 15 overs, you would write 15-0 dot. Anyway, 12 down. Aggressive teller being awkward. Well, belligerent. It's an anagram. So if we treat teller being awkwardly, you can get bell, idge, ger, rent, which I'll now misspell, but luckily it's an anagram, so I don't have to guess what this letter is. 11 across. Great price, including first of beers. Well, the first of beers is going to be the first letter of the word beers, which is presumably this B. Make it bitter, or bitter is acerbity or something. Great is ace. If something is great, it's ace. Acebrate then. A price. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I now need a 4-letter word meaning price, which is going to include the first letter of this of beers here, which is this B. Now I know there's a word, acerbity, but that doesn't work with the wordplay because ritty, R-I-T-Y, doesn't mean price, but rate does mean price. So could there be a word acerbate? And that feels very likely to me. So I think I would put acerbate in fairly confidently. I'm not going to change it, so we will look it up. Acerbate. Oh, it is there. To embitter or irritate. And what did it have to mean? To make it bitter. So what is this? Macrame or something? Locus for enthusiasts. Regularly using. Revolutionary toy. I have no idea what that's talking about. Locus. The locus of something is its position, isn't it? For enthusiasts. What are enthusiasts? Fan clubs. Fans, typically. Regularly using. It's not some sort of drug reference. If you're regularly using, you're on, aren't you? You're on a drug. But there's no place for on in the clue. And what's this revolutionary toy that I have to put in here? I'm trying to think of short synonyms for toys that I could reverse. I'm not doing very well, actually. I suppose it could be a toy as in to toy with one's affections, to sort of trifle. Meccano. Oh, if it was Meccano, then I've spelt Logoria wrong. Now that should be of no surprise to anybody. Meccano is a toy, though. Let's put that in. Delete all this nonsense. Don't even know where the diphthong goes. So, could it be Meccano? Locus for enthusiasts regularly using. Oh, I really liked Meccano as a thought. Meccano is a toy I used to. Well, I think it's those. You know what Meccano is, but it's not really a revolutionary. Using revolutionary. Oh, regularly using revolutionary. I said that could be. Oh, if you're on a drug. Well, if that's revolutionary, that would be NO, which would give us the end of Meccano. So MEC. Oh, Mecca. Locus for enthusiasts. That's ridiculous. I said, no, okay, no, it's not, is it? I mean, Mecca is obviously a place of pilgrimage, but I think you can refer to a Mecca. It was a Mecca for Pokemon enthusiasts, meaning it was a locus for those enthusiasts who were into Pokemon. So it's a euphemism for a place for. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's very clever. So it's Mecca and then NO reversed, and I have spelt Logoria wrong. And I have no clue. So, but the problem is this H I was thinking about could be wrong. I bet that's R. So I wonder if the diphthong's there then. Could it be? Oh, see, that just doesn't look like a word at all. That really doesn't look like a word. Or maybe it's even more bonkers than that. Maybe it's double R. And then the diphthong. Oh, that looks likely. I like that. That feels better. That's sort of ringing a bell with my brain. Yeah, I like that. That's going to be the answer. So double R, H, then the diphthong, then A. So now the reason that's interesting is my depraved, and that's because soldiers. Soldiers is another of these terrifying words in cryptic crosswords because there are so many, not just short synonyms, we thought of men, but there are abbreviations for soldiers. I'll give you some of them. RA, which is the Royal Artillery, I think. RE, the Royal Engineers. GI, the American soldiers. Trying to think. I mean, RN, Navy, obviously. But so I'm wondering if this begins RE or RA. So depraved sort, beginning with one of those two options. Will copy. Will is a testament. Will copy. Something to ape is to copy, so could it end in APE? Depraved sort, something like a renegade or something. Ragamuffin. I don't know it, but I do like the R being there, and I think logorrhea is now spelt correctly. 23 across. Let's have a look at this. Foundation had a game plan. Slammed. There's nothing in it. Well, I think this is some sort of anagram. I haven't quite worked out of what yet. No, I've got it now. Right, I haven't got the answer, but I might be able to get that as well. Well, had a game plan is by my count 12 letters. So if those letters are slammed, you know, you would bash into them, wouldn't you? And potentially jiggle them about. So slammed is telling us anagram had a game plan. And there's nothing in it is saying put O, which is a sort of symbol meaning nothing, in an anagram of had a game plan. That will give us 13 letters. And the whole thing means foundation, so it almost certainly has and in the middle of it. And the answer is... so, my answer is... foundation. I wonder if it's foundation as in makeup. Oh, I haven't got it. It's some... I should get it, but I haven't got it. Let's try... Should we try 18? Pair periodically, entertained by Darling Dicky. Good grief. Pair periodically. So that's like regularly. We talked about regularly earlier, taking the regularly occurring letters. Well, periodically could mean the same thing. So it could be take the odd numbered letters, PI, from pair, or the even numbered letters, AR. But the reason I'm slightly nervous about that is pair has its own abbreviation. Pair can be abbreviated to PR. So, I'm not sure. Entertained by Darling. Now, can we think of any, let's say, possibly an 8-letter word for darling? Your darling is your sweetheart, your paramour. And the whole thing means Dicky. Now, Dicky... If you have a Dicky ticker, if those of you who watched the Hello Hello will remember, they have a Dicky ticker. I saw that on the stage once. Absolutely magnificent. Hair Flick was a superb gymnast. I don't know what this one is. Let's try 19 down. Old money with capitalists' margins gone forever. Goodness. I mean, old money again. We've had, yeah. It's another of these phrases. I mean, old money could be one of the old currencies, for example, of the European Union. I'm thinking drachma. It could be, though, much older money than that. There's all sorts of Roman coins that you have to become familiar with. I think, is it an as? AS? I want to say is a Roman coin. That could be wrong. There's all sorts of weird old... what's the one what's the one that's in the back of my mind now? Come on, bring it to the front of my mind. Obols or something, but that wasn't the one I was thinking of. Can't remember. Anyway, I'm wibbling. Let's try not wibbled. 20 down. Girl with Don made out in the dark. I wonder if that's an anagram of girl and Don. In the dark is sort of... I want this to be something like ignorance. Or... with Don made out in the dark. In the dark. I haven't got it. Oh dear. Let's try. We're going to have to get something down here. Club player in action endlessly before birdie. good surface of the clue is referencing golf, isn't it? I bet the answer has nothing to do with golf. Peewit is what I'm thinking of, which I think is a type of bird. Club player in action endlessly. A player in... I wonder if this is the name of a club. And then we have to think of a player in action. I don't know what that is. But we treat that word endlessly. And we put that before a word for a bird. Because birdie is a euphemism for a bird. So short synonyms for bird: tit, owl, club player, or club. Don't know. 22 down. Oh, fabric from copper that insulates piping. Fabric from copper. Copper could be Cu. We talked about chemical elements earlier. It can also be P as in pence. Your coppers are your sort of your shrapnel in your pocket. Fabric from copper. Oh, it could be. I wonder if you could say that the word copper, the fabric of the word is its skin, the letters it's wearing, the C and the R, that insulates piping. If something's piping, it's hot. Oh. Dhoti is some sort of cloth, isn't it? I'm wondering if that could be the answer. That's it. That's the answer. That's brutal. That is brutal. Okay, so dhoti is... I've just lucked into this again. So piping can obviously be hot. And we then have to think of, when it's saying copper insulating the word hot, it's saying enclosing it, just as, insulating material would sort of surround something. And the reason this is copper is not Cu, it's not P, it's Di, as in detective inspector, a type of policeman, which of course copper is a euphemism for. So, and a fabric, dhoti, I know I think it's a Middle Eastern fabric. Let's look it up. I'm not going to change it. I'm sure that must be the right answer. Hindu loincloth, a cotton fabric used for this. So that's the answer. Now, can we go back to this then? Our club player. Oh, DJ. A J is a bird. That's going to be right. So how does this work? A club player, as in somebody who plays in a nightclub. An action is a deed. Treat that endlessly. Chop off the last D. Put that before a bird, a J, and we get DJ. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't give us the most brilliant letter. It does tell us this is not an anagram of girl and Don. I suppose that's one thing. Okay, what about something like unaware? If you're in the dark, you're unaware, and Una is a girl's name. Girl? Oh, yeah. So, okay. So again, this is very difficult to get without having the answer in the grid. But the way this works is we think of a girl's name, Una, as in Una Stubbs, for example. Absolute doyen of Give Us a Clue back in the day, if you ever watched that. Blast from the past. Anyway, so girl is Una. And then wear, W-A-R-E. Well, that sounds like the word wear, W-E-A-R. And if you wear something, you don it. You put it on. So we have to think of a word that's a synonym for don, as in to dress. And we think of the word wear, W-E-A-R. If that's made out, if you hear something, you make it out, don't you? So the made out here is saying take a homophone of the word wear, W-E-A-R, and that's going to be the word W-A-R-E that goes into the clue. Yes, that's absolutely ludicrous, but that is how it works. Oh, so what's this? Something an opera? Foundation. What? Oh, alpha and omega then. Ah, okay, I was not thinking along those lines, but that is what that is. Alpha and omega, the foundation of something. So this looks like it ends in IOUS, doesn't it? Dicky. Oh yeah, I quite like that. Pair periodically entertained by darling. Can we think of any? The whole thing means Dicky. I haven't got it yet, but I think that's what we're looking for. No, still haven't got it. Let's try 26 across. Prime time with neither for broadcast. Well, neither has 7 letters. If those letters are broadcast, they're sort of strewn and scattered, aren't they? So I'm wondering if this could be... oh, it is. It's 13. It's just a prime number. So it's T for time. We talked about that earlier. Anagram neither. And that gives us 13, a prime number. So let's try 19 down, which we have looked at, but not with the N and the T in it. Old money. Oh, there is something. Oh, I don't know. With capitalists' margins gone forever. What on earth? Capitalist. That could, seeing as in cryptic crosswords, capitalist might not mean financier. It might mean someone who inhabits a capital city, like Athenian or something like that. Old money. What is the vowel that goes between the N and the T there? I mean, it could be against. I don't know, actually. That's tricky. This bottom corner is going to be tricky. Oh, we haven't looked at this clue. Metal mass Luigi Pirandello holds up. Well, I know the answer. And there's always one of these in every Times crossword. You just have to be on the lookout for them. So this is a hidden clue. So the answer is actually spelt out in the clue. Now here it's a little bit more difficult. It's a down clue. So the phrase holds up. The way we have to look at the phrase Luigi Pirandello and look inside that phrase, and reversed within it you will find PIG, pig, as in pig iron, a metal mass. So that's the answer. That phrase holds up the answer. That gives us a G in this one. Boatman, could that be an 8? Initially, the beagle was a... Oh, two under is an eagle on a hole. Darwin ship was the beagle. So, boatman initially, B. Shoot 2 under, eagle, in golf. And Darwin ship was called the beagle. Now look at these checking letters. That's horrible. 2 E's. I did not want that. So what's this then? Oh, the bean. Oh, edamame. Is it? Yeah, Edam is the cheese. Oh, goodness. Okay, and then game. Game is the meat, with the G taken out of it. So Edam, the Dutch cheese. I thought of the wrong. How could I not think of Edam? It's because Edam doesn't begin many words. In fact, probably I would guess Edam only begins the word edamame. So my brain just didn't go there. I'm not changing edamame, so I'm just going to look at how many words begin. None. In fact, this dictionary doesn't even have edamame in it. So, okay, so I sort of forgive myself a bit. Right, let's have a look at this. Oh, I haven't looked at it. A match official, a referee. Oh, that's lovely. That's going to be right, isn't it? A ref. So carefree? Oh, no, it's going to be something like boot free. Not in Wellington. Barefoot. Okay, barefoot is the answer. It's a very good clue, actually. A match official in Wellington, referring, I think, to New Zealand, where you'll find a lot of good rugby played. So, a ref in Wellington, well, Wellington is also a boot, so we put boot, a ref in boot, we get barefoot, and if you're not in Wellington, question mark, you would be barefoot, you wouldn't be wearing anything on your feet. So what's this? Reprobate is a depraved thought. Probate. Will copy. Ah, is a will... Yeah, okay. So RE, Royal Engineers. And then probate. I know probate is something that happens during the will. Maybe it is literally a copy of the will. Yeah, I definitely think that's right. I just don't know the specific meaning of probate that means a copy of the will. So let's go to that. The proof before a competent court that a written paper purporting to be the will of a person who has died is indeed his or her full lawful act. An official copy of a will. Okay, so that's very clear. So we've got to get... This is the Dicky one. Dicky. Profanius. It's not that. Periodically entertained by darling. Precious. If something's precious, you'd refer to... Gollum would certainly refer to a darling as a precious. Aye, precious. Precocious. It's not precocious. I know it's not precocious. But pair periodically is going to be... I mean, it's going to have to be this, isn't it? And then it's just whether the C, which I think... Precarious, yeah. So, I mean, that's vicious. Pair periodically, referring to A and R being the even-numbered letters. But it is. That's how it works. So it's precious around AR to give precarious, and if something is dicky, it's precarious. And is this extinct then? Old, if something's... Okay. Old money is X-tin. Yeah, that's clever. So if something's old, it's X, as in your old flame would be your X. Money is tin. Capitalists' margins. The margins of the word capitalist are its sort of extreme letters, the C and the T. And if something is gone forever, it's extinct. And there we have the solution, I think, to the puzzle. Oh, I didn't check. I wasn't going to change logaria. Let's hope, though, that is right. There it is right. Okay, so let's look it up now. So, logaria. And it has two spellings, one without the diphthong, excessive flow of words, uncontrollable garrulity. Okay, so I mean, it's a brilliant puzzle, isn't it? It is a brilliant puzzle. Not easy. But hopefully a lot of stuff that if you're new to these puzzles that will have been useful. Now, I've probably got time before my laptop gives up the ghost to have a quick go at the Times quick crossword. I like doing this, so if you'll forgive me, I'm going to now do this one, but show you that I'm not a complete idiot, hopefully, and do this relatively quickly without much talk. Let's go. Fixed structures exterior made better. Female, I don't know. Some suggestions of the art editor showing sympathy. Kind-hearted or something. Soft-hearted. That is a hidden, believe it or not. Wow. Okay. Fixed, cured, secured. Flora, fauna. I'm sure that's right. Fashionable, hip. Hip is a joint, isn't it? Let's have a look at that one. Awfully cruel about politicians. Crumple is the answer there. Ecstatic hour in hip-hop disco dancing round. Ecstatic must be rhapsodic, maybe. I like rhapsodic there with the disco anagram in it. Portion of Haagen-Dazs, it's brought to a meeting. That must be a gender. Race inside, well, techno club. Oh, goodness. Truncheon, possibly. Feels right. Military detachment touring Finland's capital. If you need more exercise, you're unfit. Protection of Parisian dealer in stolen goods. Defense. Academic turning up. Affirmative action. Nod. Stud. Area with little moisture. I'm going to go for desert. Yes, I think that's right. Support trellis. Okay, let's try 11 across. Stopping gin, getting mixed after whiskey. Oh, goodness. Stopping. Scotching. Let's try 4 down. Bananas lifted. Damson is a soft fruit. Nobleman who in France admitted to damages as a marquis. Inexperienced revolutionary in conflict is war. Hope wife lives with husband. Hope is a wish. What's this, Saudi? Yeah. The guitarist playing for a group of stars. Sagittarius. Don't know if I've spelt that right. 12 down. Really bad French article in historical record. It must be a chronicle. What's that? That looks odd. Corgi. Alternative for, yeah. What's this then? Springtime for a public mayoral. And quick pint emptied after prompt. Okay, so we filled that in far too quickly without doing very much thinking. That's a better time, isn't it? 4th, even though I was talking a bit. So who beat me? Mr. Gris, that's a real time, can't complain about that. Andy Fisher beat me, Matthew Marcus beat me, but there are some quite good solvers who I've managed to get the better of there, which, well, hopefully it wasn't too awful. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're still with me after an hour of this video, really do appreciate it. I really enjoy making this video every week. It's different from the Sudoku content. YouTube tries to make us not make these videos, which is a shame, because YouTube perceives Sudoku videos as more popular. And the thing that YouTube, I think, doesn't grasp as well as it should is that I think for some people, the crossword videos, you know, they really are entertaining. They're sort of almost the reason they follow the channel. So if they could double like them, they would. And they probably watch a large portion of the video, but YouTube still just says, oh, well, okay, that's not a very, it's not a very popular video for Cracking the Cryptic, so we won't promote it. And I think it's really sad because these puzzles are so cool. The constructors are so clever. The use of the English language, the things that the English language can do, the entertainment it can provide, it is absolutely breathtakingly brilliant. And we're sort of stubbornly persevering, hoping that in the end the algorithm will bless these videos and make one of them go a bit more viral. But it hasn't happened yet, and maybe it could do, or it's more likely to, if anyone watching would be kind enough to drop a like on the video or subscribe or drop a kind comment. We really do appreciate it, and it helps us, helps us know that for some of you out there, you enjoy this one. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Apologies for the rambling. Apologies for the microphone. I hope this has worked, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.